A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We once again welcome you to A2Y.
A2Y.
Hi, Azi. Is it Azi or someone else?
Yeah, New Year, new me.
Maybe a new after several days.
I know. After
last
several
week
days,
you didn't look like that, right?
change is required. We spoke about change no last week, so I decided to change.
Drastic change. Anyway,
Drastic
nice,
change.
nice to see you because I have to say this is Azi because otherwise people will wonder who it is. Right? So, Azi, today, what exactly are we going to talk about?
Oh, yes, as you know what? I'm not going to say yes to everything from today onwards.
Okay, so we have to be careful about this topic, right? Because, I think last year we had a session about how to say yes or how to get
How
people
to
to say
say
yes.
no?
Something,
How to say no? Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
How to say
something.
no? Yeah.
Today we are going to talk about how to say no, right? So last year we
Absolutely.
talked
Yeah.
about how to say yes or how to kind of get people to say yes. So today we are going to say you should not say yes to everything. That's basically what we're going to talk about. We don't want
Correct.
you to learn to say yes because this is something that is very difficult because when we're in
Mm.
situations, especially in front of customers, in front of people we respect and we don't want to say no by disrespecting, this is a
Mm.
big challenge. And after 12 years being in operation, and then over 20 years of working, you and me, I think we still figure out and we still struggle to kind of say no at times. So, what we thought
Absolutely.
today to our viewers and listeners, we want to tell you when to say no, how to say no, and why you should not say yes at everything. Uh, I hope that's a good introduction, Aziz.
It's a brilliant introduction. Yes, as like you correctly said, like over the past years, even now, both of us are in certain instance, we are really struggling to say no to our clients in certain instance. But I feel it's not only relevant for businesses, but in our personal life fields also, it is a very important area. However, we are going to talk about business today.
Definitely. So I think let's clarify what we mean when we say do not say yes for everything or don't say yes to everything. We are not trying to make you be rebellious. We are not going to tell you
Mm,
to kind of say no to everything, neither disagree with people, because
mm,
as we said, we have always been customer focused. We've been trained that way. We always want to kind of do extra to our customers or friends or family. So as a result, even for me and Azi, sometimes saying no or not agreeing with a customer or another person is a challenge. Now, by nature,
correct.
Aziz, you do find some people, and I call them like chow chow, because if you remember when we were small, there used to be Dr. Doolittle, the Sinhala version
Yes.
of the cartoon,
Yes.
where they had a
Correct.
character who is always saying no and can't, and it's not going to work, and a very negative
Yeah.
person called
Mm.
chow chow, right? So
Yes.
I say don't be a chow chow. Don't be negative. Don't say no to everything and say it's not going to work and be
Mm.
that kind of person.
Mm.
However, in business, we need to say no at certain situations. The reason is if we do not say no, it's actually going to be bad for a
Mm.
customer as well. It's going to be bad for you. It's going to be
Mm.
bad for a team. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, you need to pick and choose what you can do, what you want to do, and how you will do it.
Yes.
Number one, I
Mm.
think on Instagram and even on LinkedIn, I've seen multiple times this post coming about picking the right job, and they say it's not about
Mm.
picking the right job, but it's picking the right boss, right?
Mm.
So it is the same way when you pick your customer, when you pick who you are going to work with. It's like picking
Yes.
a partner, right? Marriage, a successful marriage is not about marriage. It's about finding the right person and the person you want to live with and how you're going to live with them. Same way with your customers, same way with
Mm.
the projects, the jobs you take on. Even with your existing customers, there are situations you have to say no, that you cannot say
Yes.
yes to everything. And again, from a customer's point of view, another third party's point of view, was it? There's this notion that they feel like if you are a service provider, you should say yes to everything. That's the expectation. And
Yes.
sometimes we be in situations, I think, where we know we can't deliver it because I don't
Mm.
have the technical capability, or it's not our type of job, or it is something that is not worth for us to spend the time and effort, because there might be someone who can do it at a lower cost, at a better expertise level. But
Mm.
when you say no, or if you try to say no, you feel that you are going to be against your customer. You're
Yeah.
going to be rude. You are going to kind of give the bad vibes. However, what would happen is, if you take on something that you do not like, something that you
Mm.
cannot deliver, something that you can't keep your word on, end of the day you're going to end in disappointment. Work and life is always about a win-win situation. There should not be win-lose situations, firstly, right? So
Correct.
if you are
Correct.
going to say yes to something, that is going to be a lose situation to either of the two parties.
Mm. Mm.
You're going to end up with a conflict. You're going to end up with disappointment. You're going to end up with a lot of blame game sometimes. And,
Correct. Correct.
can we take a hypothetical situation, Azi?
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing I mean, just to add something to
Yes.
what you said, I like the fact that you bring the point saying it's not about being negative. However, it's all about, in our personal opinion, it's about how strategically and intentionally you say no, or maybe you say yes to that particular situation, right? And something that I can remember, we can't disclose the name of the client, a very prominent and significant client who actually could have generated a lot of cash value, where we actually had to say no. I hope you remember the name of the client, Yasas.
Yeah. So yeah, let's take that particular situation. And I had a
Correct.
similar situation even last evening. So what happens is, when you know that it's something you're going to bleed through for various reasons, because
Mm.
maybe there's a timeline issue. Because I always talk about this triangle, right? You have cost, you have quality, and then you have resources, right? So
Mm.
if you want to kind of meet the timeline, right, you need to kind of work hard on the cost, or you have to make adjustments on the cost or quality. You can't reduce time without increasing the
Yes.
cost or compromising the
Mm.
quality. So you increase the cost, and you probably your quality can be maintained. But if you want low cost, low time, and best quality, that doesn't work, right?
It
You
doesn't work
always have
like
to
that. Yes.
compromise one of the three: cost, time, or quality. So same way, if you are given a challenge that is going to compromise, and you try not to compromise, or the customer is expecting, okay, can you do it at this cost within this time period without a quality defect, or at this high level of expectation of quality, there is a
Yes.
compromise. So if it's a compromise, most of the time, what will happen is, it will be a cost compromise. Cost
Mm.
compromise in the sense would be not from the client side, it can be from your side. Maybe you get your
Mm.
team to work extra hours, which brings a burnout,
Mm.
which
Yes.
indirectly can again bring a quality issue. Or even if it's not
Yeah.
quality, it's going to affect the satisfaction level.
Mm.
Or
Mm.
if you're going to maintain the quality, and if you're going to do it the same way, you're not going to meet
Yes.
the deadline, which means the customer is going to be unhappy. So whatever said and done in situations like that, you are going to have a compromise. So a situation like this is what we went through, because that particular situation, the customer wanted, they were very demanding, they were
Yes.
quite, a big customer, and they knew that
Correct.
as a new agency, a new consultancy at that point, we would say no. We would say yes. We would need
We
to
would
take
say
that.
yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
We would need that business looking at their group of companies. And had we said yes, and this is a discussion Azia and myself and Rishad
Mm.
actually had a chat in, we would have bled our way through. Maybe we would have succeeded and we would have generated big business. But on the
Yeah.
other hand, if we had taken it and if we suffered in quality or not
Correct.
maintained it right, we would have created reputational damage for us.
Yes.
So we had to say sorry. We are very sorry to say this, but depending on this the scope of work and
Mm.
timeline and the budget you're requesting, we cannot do it. We had to basically uh, develop our courage and we had to say it straight through, expecting even to lose the deal.
Correct.
Now,
Correct.
the good point we need to mention to them is that actually won their respect
Mm.
because everyone else who was bidding in that situation were agreeing to do this. And we clearly said if somebody is agreeing, they are going to compromise something somewhere. And
Yes.
you need to be cautious, you need to be mindful because if it's from their side, you have a win, but they will lose. That's fine. Still you won. But if it's
Mm.
a lose for you, it's going to be a big cost for you end of the day.
Yes.
Either way, it's going to be a lose situation. So the client respected that and they asked us, okay, so what sort of budget and timeline do you need to deliver it in the best intention? And we were able to
Mm.
negotiate on that. So this is one good example, Azi, how you can really break through by being direct and respectful. It's not being disrespectful. You can even
Mm.
use
Mm.
the words. You can use the words saying, sorry if you feel that we are disrespecting you, if you feel like we are not agreeing with you, but that is not the concern. Yesterday evening, I had the same situation where I knew the expectation was unrealistic from our side, but they
Mm.
had other people who have said they can do that particular job in 2 weeks, and I
Mm.
said, "Good for you," because they've been in that industry. Probably they have all these things that we have to do as a newbie to your industry. So it makes sense for you to go ahead with someone like that. And
Correct.
respectfully, I had to decline. And I'm sure they were a bit disappointed because they were looking forward to work with us. The chat was about 1 hour long, and there were three people in the meeting. But
Mm.
I
Mm.
think it was a good call rather than trying to do it and suffering through it and losing any other potential we can work with them or
Mm.
kind of losing our reputation. So
Mm.
what we want to say to all the viewers today is if you have a situation like that where you are pushed to say yes or you feel you need to say yes because it's a long standing customer, because it's a big customer, or maybe you don't have the skills and you know you can't meet that quality, but the money is big, you need to grab it, don't get tempted. Please don't get tempted. You might have a short term gain, but in the long run, you are going to get affected by that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So for us, Azi, we always think about the network we build, the reputation we build. So we are very cautious about it, even at a moment to lose. Another thing I must say, Aziz, about small customers. Now, this is another controversy. Maybe it's another topic we need to take
Mm.
separately. But sometimes we get these dangling carrots, right? Where people will say, "Hey, you start with us. You start small, but you can really get in. When we grow, you will grow with us, right?
Mm.
When we are big, we will definitely pay you. When we are big, you'll be partners of us. We will never forget you for starting with us."
Mm.
Or
Mm.
they will say like, "I will introduce you to my whole network if you do this
Mm.
one." But
Mm.
remember, in such situations, you are compromising your work by agreeing
Yes.
to something at a lower cost or taking a risk, losing an opportunity. So you have an opportunity cost because you're catering to one person and you're missing opportunity somewhere else. You are
Correct.
actually compromising. In situations like that, please go ahead and you have to say no. You should not say yes because what will happen is later you're going to go into that situation. We said maybe it's a blame game because they will say, "Hey, you're not delivering the way you're supposed to," and you will say, "Hey, you're paying me what you're not supposed. Paying me. You're underpaying me. You should have paid me this
Underpaying.
amount."
Mm.
Then they will say like, "Look, we didn't force you. Why are you doing this? Why did you even start if you know that you can't do it at this price? Or if you don't meet the intended quality, they'll say like, we signed up with you thinking you have the standards. Why are you losing it?
Mm.
You can't say no, you're not paying us enough, so we put junior resources. Or we are
Yes.
giving you priority on this job. Or we are kind of struggling with the other projects." No, you can't say that. So it's always good to say no, but we can do it if this is the situation. So always give that point where you can give them a resolution. Even if it's a small client and you are not willing to take, what you can say is, however, I know these parties, let me introduce them to you because I
Hmm.
think budget you're expecting, these parties can help you.
Can help, yes.
Yeah. This will gain more respect towards you, and that's what would really build the trust about your brand, about you in the industry. Anything you want to add, Dazi, from what I've said, or anything else
Yes,
you want?
yes, yes. It actually, what I understood from what you said is basically saying no is also it's also an opportunity, and also you are setting up clear boundaries with expectation with the both parties, right? And when you have set expectations, which means that you can allocate your time and energy, so you can commit truly what most matters to the delivery of that service.
Exactly, exactly. And as I said when you started, this is not a business strategy, or this is not only for business. This is true to your friendship, to your partner, to your family, to your friends, anyone who's around you. It's the same situation because we always come across situations that we can't say no to people, and we struggle because you feel like they will think otherwise. They will think like, oh, if I say no, this they'll think that I'm trying to be big-headed, or they will think like I'm not supportive, or they will think uh, whatever, right? So you need to implement the same thing. You need to be clear and open, and of course, if people do get angry with you in this process, sorry for them. You can't do anything about it. But don't get angry because it's the natural reaction. People would kind of expect you to be in line and accept. But when you disagree, when you say no, when you say you cannot, obviously you're going to hurt feelings of people, whether it's business or personal, right? So don't fear for that. Over time, you'll mature with it. You will agree and you will understand this is part of the way it works. If you say no, yes, you're going to lose something. That's fine. You will understand this, but please don't worry about it because what you gain in long run is much more.
Yes,
So coming
perfect.
back to the topic is don't say yes to everything. We wanted to say how to say no to today's episode. We felt it's negative if you say how to say no. So it's better to say don't say yes to everything. I think
Absolutely.
that's the topic we want to discuss. Any last thoughts, Asif?
Yes. Yeah, my last thought is basically, I mean, we need to remember saying no. It's not about shutting doors, right? Yes, yes, it's all about maybe opening the right ones. So
Exactly.
when you open the right doors, it's all about prioritizing your time, prioritizing your energy, and maximizing the resources, so you can make a better impact to your clients.
Very true, Aziz. Very true. I really like the point that you brought there. So don't worry about it. Be firm on your position and go ahead and don't say yes to everything. So with that, Aziz, let's end today's edition, the second edition of this
It's a wrap.
year's A2Y, and keep posting, keep commenting. Let us know what you would like us to talk about, and we'll meet you next week, same time for another episode of A2Y.
A2Y. And
Signing
I'm
off.
Asi, signing off.
I'm Yasas. See you. Have a good weekend.
Yeah.